So now we'd like to talk, have Sam Cech. You knew Sam from yesterday from the Skirt project. And Sam is just going to talk about, he's been testing and probably an alpha tester even before the beta stage, getting it ready not to actually replace at this stage their 12D model stage, but they had another document management system already there. So look at, see, well, just for Word documents, and Sam will go through this, just to replace that side of it, not even just using it with 12D.
Thanks, Lee. I made a mistake last night. I went out with Lee. Sorry, with Lane. Lee wasn't there. But looking in the audience, looks like quite a few of you, right? 12D Synergy. It is a document management system, but more than just document management system, it is really a business management tool. We could have used all kinds of different management systems around the place, but it allows the collaboration and teamwork and all of those things integrated into one package. One thing I was a little bit unsure about when Richard came up and said, we're going to call this 12D Synergy. I was like, bloody hell, what is a synergy? So I got onto Google, got a definition of synergy, but I couldn't stop talking about it. We have one of our PAs for one of the directors. She's a psychologist, and I guess she wanted a change of workload, and she gave me this next comment. Apparently, it's a term that's quite widely used in psychology. I've never knew that. Of course, Lee and Alan would believe 1 and 1 plus 2 is 12. But I'm quite glad that it wasn't psychologists who wrote our textbooks at uni. I would be pretty bloody confused. So why 12D Synergy from a business point of view? The integration with 12D model, yes, it is very important. It is probably the only tool out there that can integrate with 12D, and you can get your attributes onto your plots. And you know, that whole theory of you enter that information once and use it a million times. So if your admin staff are entering the client details into the accounting package, that information needs to find its way into 12D, and how does it get there? But it's more than just around 12D. If that tool is going to be used, no one's going to be able to manage multiple different database systems and document management systems. So it's got to be able to do everything that all those other packages are doing. The team communication, it's very important that we all can communicate and talk to each other, notify and do to-do lists and tasks. And most importantly, searching. The searching, Richard and I had a bit of fun over the last week doing some beta testing on the search. And I sort of spit a dummy on Wednesday and said, can't it just work like Google? And he said, no. Then he emailed me quite early the next day and goes, oh yeah, I solved that. It's working now. So it works like Google. I know it's a lot more complicated than that, but essentially just type in a few words and the thing just finds you a job, and you're looking for a file and finds you that file. Interesting story was Teresa that's doing the testing for us. She's using our current document management system and benchmarking it against Synergy. And I gave her a phrase from my boss. He likes these things. He just wants the software to imagine what he's thinking, and then file pops up. So I said, just find me stage 2 consent. And she typed it in, and she got 5 files out of Synergy within about 10 seconds. And then she took the old document management system. After half an hour, she's given up, came back and said she can't find it. And the only reason for that is that Synergy is searching the index and the contents of the files, whereas the old document management system was doing just file names. And of course, none of the file names had that in them. So it's fully integrated with Word, Excel, and Outlook. The Outlook is my favorite. I really hate pop-ups, and you got to save this email. You got to, the whole sort of moving from a small little business to a medium-sized business, a bit more corporate stuff, and you have to save all your client emails so that someone somewhere along the line can tell what you've promised the client. And you're constantly getting this reminder, save this, save this. Synergy just takes that away, it just saves it, as long as it knows a job number somewhere within the email, and just disappears and just tells you, well done, saved. Oh, good, sweet as. So if client replies to an email that you've been correspondence going back and forth on a job, all of those emails just happening in the background. You don't have to worry about it. It indexes the contents of PDFs, DWGs, DXFs. We have made it working with the folder structure. There's quite a few packages that use folders, not just 12D. So Trimble Business Center, MicroStrain, all the geotech, and I actually don't know what those things are, but geotech and structural packages and things the engineers are using these days. Even MicroStation, and it's bloody simple for IT people to use. I'm not an IT, so installation that takes 5 minutes on a server. You don't need to know SQL database, which is a plus, and you don't need a degree in anything by surveying. So if you're an engineer, I'm sorry. So what is it that we have in the system at the moment? We've got our correspondence data only. So at this point we have migrated our correspondence, which is across 20,000 projects. That's 20,000 jobs, as we refer to them. We got some 60 users on there. Only 3 of them are testing it, and 109,000 files. It's only 80 gigabytes of data. It's not a huge database. And the index, which is what makes your searching really fast, is only 230 megabytes. It took us 4 hours to transfer the data from the accounting package and create the structure, the folder structure that you see, because none of that is a folder structure, of course. It's all a Blackmagic database, Richard Magic database, and he makes that look like Windows Explorer for us. It took us 5 hours to transfer the 80 gig, which seems like a lot, but when you think about it, it has to open up every single file, read the file, index the words in that file so that you can search it later. So that's pretty good going. Those are only one-off tasks. You only do that once, and you never do it again. The synchronization across the packages we have that we're going to keep is 3 minutes. So we can run it every 10 minutes. The admin staff get a new job, they update some details, change the client name. Within 5 minutes, it will be in Synergy. Few screenshots that Richard has shown in his video. The history is absolutely powerful. In fact, even if you delete a file in Synergy, it's never deleted. You can always go back to a file. It takes care of your archiving, takes care of your versioning. If someone goes and makes a change, you don't like it, you just roll it back, open up the old version you had. Your to-do lists and communication, you can just email people and fires up your Outlook and off it goes. Leaves a comment in Synergy, you can come back to it and reply to it. So what are we doing at the moment is stage 1. On Monday we're going to roll out the Outlook and the Client Viewer app, which is the viewer that Richard was showing you, the files and the structure. So 1st of September is the day to transfer all the data on the network. We haven't got a hell of a lot of data. It's about 4.5 million files and 800,000 folders, about 2 terabytes of data. Most of it is 12D. So that will be all transferred across, and we will, the next day, unmap the network drives on all the local machines. So that will stop all the staff from being able to browse through folder structures and be able to find data, because that data is no longer going to be there. It's going to be migrated into Synergy. And then 1st of October, we will implement the 12D model access via Synergy only. That is the check-in, check-out process rather than the direct access or the access through UNC paths that are hidden within Synergy. Either way, it's a managed process within Synergy, but the fact that you can take a 5 gigabyte project and check it out locally, work on it locally, you'll have much better performance in 12D on a local copy. And you're only dealing with changes and updates. So when you upload the project back up to the server in the evening, and you try to take it back down and check it out in the morning next day, well, that will be a split second because nothing has changed overnight. So you don't have to copy it back down and unzip it and do whatever else. It's all managed for you. Is that all? No, for one-off price. And Synergy's got the capabilities of integrating all your other business tools together. So While it's talking about projects, projects are not just 12D projects or your client's jobs. So it has a layer above projects called categories. You can create a category called the intranet, and you can have all your office documentation and office collaboration, everything that's related around the office within Synergy. And therefore you can have Synergy within your office environment. Richard's already shown the plane register. Natively, Synergy has to organize and manage your planes just because that's how the integration with 12D model works. But if you have any plane register systems in place, you can probably transfer them into the SQL database. And we have a extensive database of plane register. Because of the API interface for the client, you can change the look of Synergy. It doesn't have to look the way Richard showed it as files in a list. You are able to use the APIs to then create tables and spreadsheets. And the number of offices that have little whiteboards with a magnetic dot, I'm out of the office back at 2 o'clock. And then the receptionist has to run around the office and find out who is away and who is in the office and who is not. So Synergy allows you to make these electronic boards that you can actually book equipment, book staff, go out. And yes, some people are using Outlook and have various success with it. But of course, with calendars, if certain people don't have access to your calendar, they can't book you out. They can't, you can't just phone in and say, oh, change my calendar for me, please. I'm out till 2 o'clock. So having a special booking board is always useful. And this one, oh, sorry, no, that's not Synergy. I don't know what that one is. That's from 12D. Yeah, Synergy is here. It's here to stay. It's getting implemented. Quite excited about it. And the guys at Skirt are quite funny because when Synergy, the name came out, they I couldn't stop talking about it. They keep asking me, well, these users, they can't seem to manage the folder structure in Windows. They keep losing files and they keep losing plots, and where's that bloody DWG they were using? So what they need is Synergy, and they'll have some order and organization in place. Thanks.
Thank you, Sam. So, as I mentioned, hopefully there's one or two things that may tweak in the back of your mind that Synergy may be able to help you with. So just come and have a talk to us.